I'm Jane Alalibo, and you're welcome to Social Studies class. Today, we'll be looking at the topic, promoting peaceful living in the society, in the theme, culture and social values. Our objectives for the lesson today are to learn the meaning of peace, to also learn the importance of living in peace with one another, and also to learn the ways of promoting peace in our society today. So at the end of the lesson, I expect that we'll be able to learn and memorize all of these which we have stated. Now, into our lesson for today. I'm sure we have heard of the word peace a lot of times. We talk about peaceful homes, peaceful societies, and all of that. When you hear the word peace, what comes to your mind? For some people, it could be a situation where there is no fighting, no war, no violence. For some, they will describe peace as a situation where there is quietness or a situation where there is harmony in a particular place. All of these definitions are correct in one way or the other. But right now, we're going to look at a comprehensive definition of peace, which we have on the board here. Peace can be defined as a state or period where there is unity, harmony, cordial relationship, and freedom among individuals in the society, in the home. But today, we're looking at peace in the society. Peace can also be described as the absence of violence or war, which means the opposite of peace could be war or it could be violence. So if there is no peace, then there is war. I'm sure nobody wants war, nobody wants fighting, nobody wants violence. We all want to live in a peaceful and a calm environment. Now, society today is made up of so many different people from different ethnic groups, people with different beliefs, practices, aspirations, and goals. Now, because we have all of these differences, we could always have conflicts. For instance, we have situations whereby a person's aspirations are clashing with that of another person, or one person's belief or religion is clashing with that of another person. All of these differences or diversities can bring about conflict in society, which is why we really need to try to live in peace. We need peace so that we are able to live together in unity. Nigeria is a very large country, and you cannot separate one ethnic group from the other. We are one country despite these differences. So as much as we are different, we still need peace so that we can live in unity. Peace is needed to build and maintain a strong and stable society. For the society to be strong, for the society to be stable, for the society to develop, we need to live in peace. Now, we have two major types of peace. Peace can be classified into two different types, and they are positive peace and negative peace. Positive peace is true, absolute, and lasting peace. When we say it is true, it is absolute, and it is lasting, we mean that it lasts for a very long time. It is not faked or forced. Now, this type of peace is built on justice and resolution of conflicts and disputes. When we get negative peace, we're going to see why we describe positive peace this way. But this type of peace comes from justice, and when people have actually resolved all of their conflicts. Now, this doesn't mean that two people or two parties have problems and then they decide to ignore themselves. That is not positive peace. In positive peace, the conflicts are resolved. There is no violence, and it restores cordial relationship between two rival parties. That's why I say the two parties do not just ignore the problem or the conflict. Rather, they come together and solve it and still have a cordial relationship between one another. Everybody is settled fairly and their needs are met. That's for positive peace. And negative peace, on the other hand, is simply the absence of conflict and violence. Now, there is no fighting, there is no violence, there is no war, but there is still tension in the background. This means their problems or their conflicts, their disputes have not actually been resolved. The two rival parties or the two people fighting have probably been forced to live together. For example, now in a community, we have two parties that are fighting for power. These two parties probably have their leaders, and maybe the armed forces or the police can come to restore peace to that environment by arresting their leaders. Of course, since we have the armed forces in that environment now, they are going to stop fighting. But then, have their conflicts been resolved? Have their disputes been resolved? No. So that is negative peace. Even if there is no immediate violence, there is still tension. People are not living in peace. They still have grudge against each other. The thing about this type of peace is that it doesn't last for so long. Eventually, the conflict still arise again because they were not resolved in the first place. That's why we say positive peace goes beyond the absence of violence. It is not just absence of violence, it is also resolution of conflict and restoration of cordial relationship where people now live in unity and harmony. That is the difference between positive peace and negative peace. Now we're going to look at the importance of peace in our society. Is it really necessary for us to live peacefully in society? Of course it is, and we're going to see some of the importance of peace now. One is lack of violent conflict. 2, progress and development. 3, happiness and less stress. And 4, peaceful coexistence. Now we're going to look at these different importance of peace one by one. We have lack of violent conflict. Remember when we were talking about the two different types of peace, positive peace and negative peace? We said positive peace goes beyond absence of violence. It also has to do with resolution of conflict, which means there must be conflict. We said we have different people with different goals, aspirations, different beliefs and practices. And all of these, once in a while, bring conflict between people. But now, the ability to resolve these issues or these conflicts without violence is positive peace. So, one of the importance of peace is that it brings about lack of violent conflict, which means that even when there is conflict, there won't be violence. It will just be solved amicably through dialogue and settlement. There won't be any loss of lives and property, injuries or damages. Of course, we know that violence, fighting or war brings about all these which we have listed. People die in the course of war, people lose their property, people get injured, and there are so many damages. But when we have peace in a society, even when there are problems, these problems are resolved amicably through dialogue and settlement. Another importance of peace is progress and development. Now you can agree with me that where there is peace, people can come together, they can work together. This means they can combine their resources together to build a great society. Let's take our country, Nigeria, as an example now. In Nigeria, we have different ethnic groups. We have the Yoruba, the Igbos, the Hausas, we have the Ijaws too, and so many others. We know that we have oil mostly in the southern part of the country. And in the southern part of the country, we have the Ijaws dominant in that area. Imagine if there was conflict or ethnic problems between the Ijaws and the Hausas. The Hausas won't be able to have access to the oil in the southern part of the country. But because the country is one, there is peace, these resources can still be shared among the different parts of the country. That is the point we're trying to make here. Where there is peace, there is progress and development because people are able to combine resources together. They're able to pull resources together to build a great society. War leads to loss of lives and properties, poverty and hunger. If we go back in time, in the time of the Civil War, we know that there was a serious hunger strike in the country and it caused a lot of deaths. That is one effect of war on a country. But where there is peace, people can go about their daily business together. The leaders of the country can also carry out good plans that they have for the people. There is progress and development. We can take a look at this illustration that we have here. This is an example of a country that has been plagued with war and violence and fighting. But here, this is a country where there is peace. You can look at the environment alone speaks for itself. This place is destroyed, but this one is looking developed because there is peace. So peace brings about progress and development. Another importance of peace is that there is happiness and less stress wherever you have peace. Now, in a peaceful society, people can have rest of mind. People can go about their daily businesses freely. You do not have fear of anything. People can relate cordially with each other where there is peace. We also have peaceful coexistence. Now, in a society where there is peace, people can live together peacefully without fighting. And even when problems arise, they are still able to solve their problems amicably. In a peaceful society, people do not live in anger, malice, and bitterness. You do not live in fear of each other. You can relate very well with other people. And in a society where there is peace, there is cooperation. People can easily work together. Now, how do we promote peace in society? Peace is not something that you set up one day and then you leave it and expect it to stay like that for a long time. We have to make conscious efforts to build and continue to promote peace in society. And how do we do this? We have listed 3 major ways through which we can promote peace in our society. 1 is tolerance, 2, social justice, and 3, human rights. To maintain peace in society or to promote peace in society, we need to be tolerant. We need to have tolerance. Now, like I explained before, we live in a society where we have different people from different backgrounds. We speak different languages. We have different beliefs. We have different religions, cultural and social practices. Now, we must learn to respect and also accept other people, irrespective of where they come from, the language they speak, or the religion that they practice. We need to respect and accept each other. In Nigeria, we have people from different ethnic groups. We have the Igbos, the Yorubas, the Hausas, the Ijaws, the Fulanis. We also have the Efiks. So many ethnic groups. You must accept their practices. The fact that someone is not from the same place with you doesn't mean you look down on their cultures and traditions. No, you respect them and accept them. Even for people from different religions, even if you're a Christian, you should still be able to respect and accept a Muslim person. That is tolerance. Beyond that, we should also learn to tolerate the excesses and errors of others. You do not have to get so offended when people do things that are not in line with what you want. We should also understand the reason behind the actions of other people. You place yourself in their shoes to understand why they have done the things that they have done. We should also learn to forgive people and forget their offenses rather than retaliate. Because this is usually what leads to war or fighting. If someone offends you, you must not retaliate. All you need to do is forgive and also forget. If everyone is able to tolerate each other, then we will be able to live in a peaceful society. We also have social justice. Now, social justice is a state in which there is fair and equal distribution of power, resources, and opportunities in a society. Social justice also means that everyone is treated equally before the law. All of these help to promote peaceful living in a society where everybody is treated equally, irrespective of ethnic group, social stroke economic class and religion, people can live peacefully. And when we have fair and equal distribution of resources in a country or a society, equal distribution of power, equal distribution of opportunities, then people can live peacefully because no one feels cheated. If some people are being cheated when it comes to distribution of resources, of course they would want to fight for themselves. But when everybody is treated fairly, there will be no need for war because there is no cause for rivalry. And the third way through which we can promote peace in society is human rights. Now, every human being is entitled to certain rights. We call them our fundamental human rights. Some of them include freedom of speech, right to life, right to fair hearing, freedom of movement, freedom of association, and freedom of religion. All of these are rights should be respected by others. As a person, you owe it to your neighbor to respect his or her rights. Same way that person owes it to you to respect your own rights. We should respect and protect the rights of each other and not violate them. Now, violating the rights of others is another major cause for fighting and war in society. If this can be avoided, then we can live in a peaceful society. These are the ways through which we can promote peace in our society. In summary, we have learned that peace refers to a state of unity, harmony, and friendliness between people in a society. We also learned that peace is the absence of any form of violence or war. It is not just the absence of war. We also learned that peace is the presence of fairness, equality in the society, and also the ability to resolve disputes in an amicable manner. Peace can be classified into two major types. They are positive peace and negative peace. We also learned that peace brings about progress and development in society. It also allows people to live in happiness and reduces stress on individuals. And it also brings about peaceful coexistence in society. We also learned that we can promote peace by tolerating one another, ensuring that there is social justice, and respecting the rights of others. Having learned all of these today, we should be able to answer certain questions about living peacefully in a society. Let's try this question. Which of the following is not a way to promote peace in society? A. Tolerating one another. B. Respecting the rights of others. C. Retaliating when offended by others. And D. Ensuring social justice in society. The correct answer is C. Retaliating when offended by others. That is not a way to promote peace. Instead, we are encouraged to forgive others and forget whenever they offend us. This is the end of our lesson on promoting peaceful living in society. Thank you.